yeah.
Rhys Bennett, everyone.
Thanks for having me. It's nice to be here. And like all the fans are going, man is just like this on the sideline, and I'm like, oh my god, sorry guys. And I see him bringing it down on his chest and pinging passes, and I'm thinking, you know what, I'm in the wrong game, man. Yeah, like this is okay as a starting point, probably need to bump it up. And he was like, no, that's the offer, take it or leave it, you've got 24 hours. If there's someone that's lagging behind, he starts and that's him gone for the day. Gaffer's barking the whole session, he's like, right, well done guys, good session.
Yeah,
and
really
he's just like, oh, my head's hurting.
Alright pal, welcome back.
How do you?
I'm alright. I was speaking to Corey and the lads before, and the Patreon's going well.
I've heard it is. I've had a few texts saying, why the fuck am I listening to you?
Why do I have to pay
£3?
£3? But it keeps the podcast going. And if you really enjoy it and you want more guests and you want to be part of the IAD Trials podcast, then it's £3. It's 70p a week.
What's this? If you pay a tenner,
you get to buy us a drink.
Yeah,
I'm not saying.
Like,
I know.
I had to text you saying, I'm not buying you a drink. I'll just pay the low one. I was like, yeah, fair.
Yeah, but I suppose the different kind of memberships gives you access to different things.
Yeah.
So like just being part of the Patreon, I think we're going to have like golf days. I think we're going to have like prize draws, quizzes. You can like speak to us direct through questions, and that's all being part of the Patreon, and the different levels of memberships will get you more access to stuff. So it's definitely worth it if you want to keep us.
No, it's been good.
Keep us going. Yeah, make sure you click on the link, sign up, and we can carry on the pod.
We've also had a few guests that we couldn't have on with sponsors that we can now get on. Right, who've we got today?
We have got
Ratcliffe Saviour. Put a big light on him.
Yeah. You might as well get a contract out for him now. Try and find me notes. But we've got Rhys Bennett.
Yeah.
I didn't realise how big he were.
Fucking hell, it went dark
huge.
before, didn't it?
Fucking hell.
Jesus
Huge,
Christ.
and he's got a lovely hair.
Lovely hair, yeah. I just said you must be going bald because you're the same age as me, and he said no.
No,
So.
I've just got hair. He's got a lovely picture
But
on Wikipedia.
he was
as well.
the year below me at Bolton all the way through.
I didn't know you was at Bolton. You never mentioned that.
I didn't get my YT, but I think you did. So who was in your YT team?
Well, just before that, he started off at Radcliffe. Is that right?
I did, yeah.
Rhys Bennett, everyone. Welcome,
How are
mate.
Thanks.
Thanks
Nice.
for coming in.
Thanks for having me. It's nice to be here.
No problem. So go on, yeah, you started off at Radcliffe. Is that from where you're from then, around that area?
Yeah, literally, I went to play for my local team, and that ended up being Rochdale Borough. So to play for them and then play for Bury on the Sundays, and loved it.
Up for Borough.
Both teams.
What a team.
I know. So what age group was that?
That would have been probably like under 6, where they start basically playing
Under 6?
until like under 11, which then
Oh my
went
God,
to Bolton.
I didn't start playing football until I was nearly 11.
Really?
Yeah.
You could tell.
So, yeah, you could tell.
There was
yeah.
bits there where
Yeah.
he was like, he's not been coached from a young age.
Couldn't trap a medicine ball in the desert. But was you always a defender? Was you always big?
I was always big, yeah.
Was you?
Yeah, so I was always big, so I wasn't always a defender. I was like, yeah, just stick him up front.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
He's bigger than everyone. I just push him out the way and put it in the net. So that's basically what I did until I was 14.
Oh, really? And like, how did you know that you obviously weren't going to make it as a striker? And did someone have a little word in your ear like, "Come on, pal, you need to drop back"?
Still don't know whether I'd made it as a striker. But yeah, met a coach who was very experienced. I think he coached like senior men's teams, and he was like, "Do you fancy playing midfield?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, this is great." And then he was like, "All right, second period of that game, he's like, "Do you fancy playing at the back?" And I was
you
like,
only got half a game in midfield.
I got half a game in midfield. He was like, "Probably I've seen enough of that." I actually can't remember how it went, but yeah, the results were there. And then he was like, "Look, do you fancy playing at the back?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, this is fun. Like I get to do skills on like the strikers and stuff." And yeah, never actually went back up front. So
Really? It must have worked out well then, because you've had a long,
It's a good career.
long career. So how did you get chosen for Bolton then? Was you playing at the back then?
no,
You got chosen as a
I
striker.
was a striker. Yeah.
Also, Bolton put you at the back.
Yeah. So it was under 14s at Bolton where he was like, look, you just fancy playing like a couple of different positions? And he was like, yeah.
And Bolton were Premier League at the time, were they?
Yeah.
So was that Big Sam in charge?
It was Big Sam, yeah. So we had a academy manager, Big Sam, and like all of
Chris Sully.
Chris Sully was academy manager, yeah. Proper
This
guy.
is Jordan's claim to fame, you know, this. Like,
It's not. I never got in, so
this
it's not.
1 month he was at Bolton on trial.
I was there for 10 years, actually.
All right,
So
okay.
you would have had Kyle Bartley,
Kyle Bartley, yeah.
Matt Carlisle.
Matty Carlisle. Chris
No more.
Stokes.
Yeah, Stokes, who was there for about a year, and then they fucked me off. But yeah, it was good academy, and they used to have you in, didn't they, with the first team pretty much all the time at Irkston.
Yeah, 100%.
I tell you what, I've just worked out though that you was a striker,
Yeah.
he was a year below. You got bombed off for him probably playing up front, and he got put back as the defender. So that's how crap you must have been.
There is that, and the fact that I was about 4 foot at that point. So
And you was probably
I was
6 foot.
just bigger than everyone else. So.
So who was the players that you looked up to then, the first team at that stage then?
First team there, we was obviously quite lucky because
You'd have had all the top players.
there were some
wouldn't
good,
you?
there were
Joke,
some
yeah.
good players there.
Yeah.
Obviously, you get to go to first team games like as a scholar, and I was lucky because I lived in Bolton, so I used to get picked up. And I don't actually remember how on earth I managed to do it, but on the pitch after the games, we used to sit right next to the away basically dugout. So I used to go and walk on the pitch and ask people for shirts. So I've got like 5 or 6 shirts of like real top Premier League players.
Have you? You just
Who would
walk
they
on
be?
and ask them.
So Emmanuel Adebayor,
Nice.
Deco, I've got Petr Cech, I've got like literally like 5 or 6
some decent names.
top
Yeah.
guys.
You
And I
just-
was like, how did I have the cheek to just literally just walk on the pitch and be like, can I have your shirt? Because if someone did that to me now, I'd be like, what are you doing here?
Yeah, especially a young lad who's just
Yeah.
walked on. That's class that they give it you though, isn't it?
Yeah.
Why didn't you ask any at Bolton, lads?
I clean boots and it's I was like, oh, by the way, I'll clean your boots, but can you get me this guy's shirt?
That's class, isn't it? So who were the centre halves then at that stage? Did you purposely watch their games and try and learn off them?
Yeah, so the centre halves were obviously Gary Cahill was there at the
Yeah.
time.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah,
Got
and
started
then
there, yeah.
we had like Zat Knight was there,
Yeah.
and then kind of later on you've got the kind of like Danny Shiftus and stuff like that. Whereas for me, like I still thought I was a striker, so I was kind of like a little bit, I wanted to be silky and stuff like that.
Watching
Whereas,
Kevin
like,
Davis.
yeah, and then it was like, look, you need to kind of learn from some real centre backs because that was the kind of stage football was at the time.
And did you think that you had to nail down that position as a defender to then make it as a professional? Was that kind of explained to you or not?
Yeah, I think, when you look back and you think, oh, you know what, they were trying to tell me something, but at the time, it just kind of goes over your head.
Yeah.
Whereas I remember there was like a time where they told my agent, and my agent took me to Nando's and was like, listen, like, you probably need to be a little bit more aggressive and stuff like that. And I was like, yeah, no, it's fine, but like I can thread passes and stuff like that.
You was a Ferdinand at that
Yeah,
stage,
I was a
weren't you?
Ferdinand, so yeah.
You don't seem very aggressive.
No.
Have you had to add that? Did you have to add that?
They sent me to Scotland when I was 19 by myself in the Scottish Championship. They could have sent me to the Premier League, sent me to the Scottish Championship.
That's
So-
Falkirk, innit?
Yeah. So on my second game, I had a 6'4" striker elbowing me in my head. So it was like, yeah, welcome to men's football.
Was it? And was that a big noticeable change then? When they sat you down and said, right, Rhys, you're going here, did you know that was because they wanted to toughen you up?
To be honest, at the time, I had like clubs from the Football League that wanted to take me on loan, and I wanted to go on loan for the year before because it'd probably been my second or third year playing reserve team football. So I was like, look, I kind of want to play
itching to
first
get
team.
out.
Yeah, I want to play first team football. So then it was like, right, you can go on loan. I was like, right, let's go. Where am I going? They were like, Scotland. I was like, yeah, that's fine. And then when I actually got there, and I was like, hold on a minute. Why am I so far away from home? But that experience definitely grew me up as a person and as a player.
What was the biggest things that you learned about yourself?
Well, obviously, you're 5 hours away from home. You're living by yourself. So there's the kind of like life skills. But then there's like the football in that like I'd love to play when it was sunny and, when the crowds were up or when we had a big team that we're playing against. But when you're playing against Stenhouse Moor on a Tuesday night away from home and it's cold and you've got a big 6'4" striker,
You get an elbow.
that's when you learn what real
You've
football
sort
is
of got to be aggressive there, right?
You have
It's just to get through it.
You have to.
Yeah, you got to be. Otherwise, you're going to get bullied, aren't you? And straight away, as a young lad, as a striker, you're thinking, I'm sticking one on him first 5 minutes, see how he reacts. Like, hopefully he'll crumble. I've got an easy game. How did you, when you first felt that a bit of contact, what was your reaction?
Well, first of all, I wanted to go home.
Did you?
And then when you realise you can't go home, you've got another 85 minutes. And the manager's looking at you like, come on. Then you've got to kind of figure out a way to, get in one back, be a little bit cute about stuff. But yeah, it definitely grew me up as a player.
Yeah, that's a tough school to get into, isn't it?
Falkirk.
We've done it with a couple of lads who we've got out on loan. Some of them have been out over to Spain. So
yeah, but that Spain's a bit different, isn't it?
Well, not at that level. Like, it's probably a League Two Scottish champ, that kind of a level, and it's northern Spain, so the weather's awful. Pitches aren't brilliant. It's not like the tiki taka football.
Right.
So it is, and it's a totally different country. So it's like you said, it's not like you can have a bad game or something goes wrong and you can jump in your car and go back to your mum's for an hour and have a cup of tea with her and get her out, get a cuddle. You're on your own.
None of that.
And it's like, it's a real learning curve, but I think it's brilliant for young players.
Oh, 100%. If I could go back and do it again, I would have done it earlier. So maybe when I was 17, 18 as opposed to 19, 20. And then maybe I would have, progressed further.
Yeah, if you do well at 17, people start looking at you, don't they?
Yeah, and as well, like, you've got out nice and early, so you're 1 or 2 years ahead of the curve, aren't you?
Yeah.
And you've probably got more chance of them breaking through to the first team a bit quicker because you've done them loans early. Can you remember you got a debut goal? Didn't you? Oh, you got a goal quite early on for him.
Falkirk.
Right?
Yeah.
There's no goals for Falkirk.
Yeah, basically all of them were own goals. And I basically nearly scored an own goal against Rangers as well.
Did you?
Yeah.
Was that in the cup?
Yeah. So we beat Rangers in the cup.
You beat them?
Yeah, we actually beat them. We had a good team, We had basically a team full of kids. But some of those kids, obviously Callum Higginbottom, who you guys might know.
Right.
Murray Wallace, who's now in the champ. We've had Jay Fulton, who's at Swansea. He was literally 17.
Was there a lot of lads on loan?
No, they had a very good academy.
And
They've gone to sell on like quite a lot of players. So they've sold on basically half their team.
Was there anybody else on loan who was in the same boat as you when you was up there?
No.
No. So
Literally,
even that's difficult because you can't even share.
What's the sort of like
else?
accommodation they give you as well? Because that makes a massive difference.
To be fair to them, because obviously I was at Bolton and we were Prem at the time. And another thing that I should probably mention is the manager of Stephen Presley, who was the old roommate of Owen Coyle, who was now the Bolton manager. So that's the way they designed it. Stephen Presley was an international centre back.
Stephen Presley's a mad Scotsman as well, though, isn't he?
He is a mad Scotsman.
I've seen a video of him.
He was at Fleetwood for a while. I remember after one game, I was watching the game and I was in the lounge upstairs, and he came in cartwheeling when they won. Woo! Like this, just doing cartwheels through the lounge, like, and then got a beer and sat down with the fans, and he's
a
good,
character.
like
He's a
nutter,
character.
he's nutter,
character.
but he got everybody working for him.
Yeah, fair enough.
So he was the
manager.
He was the manager.
But Owen Coyle's mate, so it was like, send me that centre half. And
yeah. So, but I got the nicest apartment. So basically, where we used to train was like a uni, and I got the nicest apartment, literally 5 minutes walk from the uni.
Oh, nice.
So the apartment was great.
And the training facilities were good?
Very good.
Was there?
Considering it was a uni, considering the level, the training facilities were very good. And that's probably why they attracted the young kids that they attracted.
Yeah. And obviously full-time, because there are a couple of teams in the champ who aren't full-time, aren't they? So
that's full-time, grass pitch, uni, everything was...
a few uni birds there as well.
Yeah.
Superb. What more do you want?
What more do you want? Let's get
18 years old.
It was a uni town, so like every Tuesday night and like every Saturday night, it's literally full.
Was it?
Yeah.
So there's your bonus.
There's your bonus.
There's
like
your bonus.
You are away from home, but equalise it a little bit.
Did all the lads? Well, was there a few lads that went out with you as well? Tuesday, Saturday.
Yeah.
Did you have a Tuesday, Saturday club?
We had
Won't call it a club.
It wasn't. Yeah, it wasn't.
Sounds like you're out every night, doesn't it?
No.
Every week.
It's a Tuesday, Saturday club, so you're out Tuesday, Saturday. Not
but every week. Like,
every week. Well, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there wasn't an official club, but there was a few of us that would
There's
get together.
there's a few members. So where would you end up? Would you go the student places then midweek?
Yeah. On a Tuesday night, there could be something on the doorstep 5 minutes away. It was just lively. Or you could drive 40-45 minutes to Glasgow or Edinburgh. So on a Tuesday night after the game,
on
just
footballers' wages,
let's just
in
have
a student night.
You're like a millionaire, aren't
Yeah,
you?
pretty much.
And did everyone know like who you guys were as well?
They might have done. Well, to be fair,
is that because you walked around with your PFA card?
He told us that before.
You slipped that in before.
No, my best friend was like, they literally brought him in as a trialist from nowhere, from France, and he ended up scoring 30 goals for them and then getting a move to Brentford. So,
did he?
He lived with me, so I was,
you
clinging onto
entourage. yeah.
Knockdowns.
So did you meet him when he came on trial and stayed friends ever since?
Mm-hmm.
Beautiful.
And where's he now?
He's retired now. So I was 20 and he was 26, 27. And then he had one of those miraculous seasons where he scored 2 against Rangers, he's the top goal scorer in the league, got a move to Brentford, stayed there for 3 or 4 years, went back to Hibs, and now he's just happily living his life in the south of France. So,
simply lovely.
What a story that is.
Yeah.
See what happens.
What was he called?
Down.
Farid El Alaghi.
Try saying that again.
Yeah.
Well done,
Farid.
Farid. I'll just call him Farid. Well done, mate.
Well, that's a great story. So at 26 coming across like that as well.
Literally. And he found a coin on the side of the pitch, and like every time he scored, he used to kiss this coin because it was like his lucky coin.
What, he kept it with him?
He kept it with him.
What, in his sock?
In his sock.
What, and then he placed it at the side of the thing, scored a goal, and used to run over and kiss?
Yeah, so they used to run over and kiss this coin.
This lucky coin that a Falkirk fan had threw on.
Tried to whiz it at him.
Stop missing chances.
Fair play to him.
Fair play. How good's that? How did he do at Brentford?
He did well. And obviously, it was at the time where Brentford were like League One pushing for the Championship. So they obviously had like the Harley Deans and the Romain Sawyers, that kind of era.
Yeah.
But he did well.
We'll move on to, because further down the line, you ended up at Peterborough, and that would have been with Ivan Toney and people like that.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll go on to that.
Yeah.
There you go. So you've had a season in Falkirk, and
what do you do then? Just go back to Bolton?
Yeah. So I went back to Bolton, and they got relegated from the Premier League. So they were like, look, all like the young kids and the budget for that is gone.
Oh, really?
But it was one of them where I was like, I wanted to go and play first team football anyway. So
because you'd had your taste of it.
I've had my taste of it, and I'm like, I can't go back and play reserve team again.
Because I was going to mention that, like because you mentioned that you beat Rangers, and then you got to the cup final, didn't you? Scottish Cup final.
We got to the Scottish Cup semi-final at Hampden when we played against Celtic. Obviously, we got a doing, but we ended up winning the JPT. So, like the Scottish version of the JPT, we won that. And it's funny because in the Scottish Championship, only the top team gets promoted. And it was us and Ross County for most of the season. And then towards the end of the season, we just sort of concentrated on the cups a little bit and kind of relaxed in the league. But that was the year Rangers got liquidated. So they got relegated. So they actually promoted the second team from the Scottish champ. And we'd kind of like basically let the wheels fall off.
Oh, no.
Came third. So we would have got promoted.
No.
Jesus
How
Christ.
unlucky is that?
I thought you were going to say we come second.
Yeah, I did,
was all right.
Yeah. But how lucky is that, though? Like your first year out on loan, you go to the Championship and you still play against Rangers and Celtic.
Yeah.
Just because of the cup thing. That must have been a great experience.
Yeah, it's...
It wouldn't have even been... You wouldn't have even thought about that because they weren't in your league.
No, exactly.
It would have been like, win this and then we can get Rangers and Celtic.
Yeah.
But you just got them in your first year, beat one of them, got one in the cup final. You're happy with that?
That's what I mean. It's a great learning curve, a great first loan, isn't it? Really.
As I was saying in that Rangers game, the keeper blew, Sorry, the keeper rolled me the ball, and I thought the referee blew, and he didn't blow. So I've like turned around and just kicked it back to the keeper without even looking. And the referee didn't blow, and it's gone over the keeper's head and literally rolled an inch wide. Whereas I would have scored the greatest of all goals from 40 yards. And I'm like, all my teammates are looking at me like, "What are you doing?" And I was like, I couldn't hear the whistle. I thought he whistled because I seen the ref.
Yeah.
And then he just looked back. So I was going, and just wellied the ball back.
As if like you're going to play out.
I've gone to play out, and I thought he stopped for something. So I've just like stopped and just booted it back to the keeper. It's gone over his head, and he's rolling towards the goal. I see the keeper sprinting after the ball, and then, like all the fans are going. Man is just like this on the sideline, and I'm like, oh my god, sorry guys.
You're like this. You got both teams to score.
17 as well. Right.
Well, no, what did you mean? 18, 19?
Yeah,
oh,
19.
19.
Oh, thank God it went wide, and then you win the game.
I won the game. We were 2-0 up. They put it back to 2-2 and scored a last-minute free kick. So
how do you explain that though? If it goes in, like you can't use that. You can't use that story.
Guys,
that you just
I'm sorry.
People are replaying that for years.
I thought the ref blew.
Yeah, going. What do you think this lad?
It's definitely making like Sky Sports or some kind of like.
100%.
Not remember the DVDs?
Yeah.
Own goals and gaffes.
Oh, I had an Alan Hansen one.
Yeah, they don't do anymore.
No, be brilliant. Well, they do. They just do them online, don't they? Like you could go on YouTube and Google.
Yeah, true.
It's like shittest footballers. It's just a picture of you. Oh, your little. Oh, your.
I knew it was coming as soon as
Yeah, I know. Sorry. So, Bolton been relegated. You get. Is it a call into the office? Is it a text? Is it a message? Or what is it?
It's obviously it was a meeting once I came back, and then he was just like, look, like, I think you benefit from going to play first team football, so
I love that one.
Yeah, you know that
you'll benefit.
It's not we've got no budget.
Yeah,
you'd be better.
We really want to keep you, but we think you'll benefit. All right. So.
I was just like, you know what, I understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
Like I'm not stupid enough to go with it, but at least it lets me go out and play.
Good. And you went to Rochdale.
Yeah, because John Coleman was the manager at Rochdale, and he originally wanted to sign me on loan before I went to Scotland. So I was like, this is the manager, and he was like, listen, you're gonna play, whether you're good or bad, you're gonna play. And I was like, sure. He's like, yeah.
That's what you want to hear, though, isn't it, from a manager?
Like,
yeah, but if you're that bad, you're not.
Yeah, but as yourself though, like if you play bad, you deserve not to be in the team.
Yeah.
A manager's kind of saying there, you're my man. You come in, you play. If you play 7, 8 good games out of 10, but you have a couple of wobbly ones, you're still in. You're still my man, which is what you want, innit? There's nothing worse than you're halfway through a game and you've had a bad 45 and you're thinking it's going to drag me off here. Then you can't play then.
I agree.
Okay, thanks.
Well done, mate.
So Rochdale, what league were they in at the time?
League 2. So they'd just been relegated from League 1 to League 2. And he was like, look, I'm looking to rebuild the squad and want some younger players. So
Who were the lads in the team then at that time?
So there were loads of players.
Yeah.
We had Brian Barry.
Sent us some info before it said he played with loads of players at Rochdale.
Right, cheers, that helps. You probably did, yeah.
Some pal.
We had Brian Barry Murphy as a player. He was like a senior player. Obviously he's now gone on to be a manager and that. So he was kind of one of the first players.
How did you find him? BBM.
I actually got on really well with him, to be honest. He's
BBM, that's what I'm calling him.
Yeah, that's what everyone calls him.
No one, like you can't shout Brian Barry Murphy, pass me the ball. Can you?
BBM's a bit of
morning, Brian Barry Murphy. It's BBM.
Yeah. All right, yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, that original team. So BBM, Joe Thompson was in it.
Yeah.
Those two were like very good to me as I kind of settled in. And then you've got like Josh Lillis as keeper, who obviously there for loads of years. And then people like Jamie Allen coming through the academy.
Yeah.
Callum Camps coming through the academy, and Andy Cannon coming through the academy.
Right.
Was Andy Cannon there? Yeah.
Yeah, them three all came through the academy.
How do you know him?
I went to uni with his brother, didn't I?
Oh, that's right. I knew you'd mentioned him before. Yeah.
Good lad.
And then obviously once Keith Hill joined, and then they brought back Scott Hogan, who was in the academy before but went out to play.
Yeah.
And then he's obviously signed some, rough diamonds, which he's kind of made a career on polishing.
Gone and done really well, didn't they?
Why did he get sacked?
John Coleman.
Yeah.
Well, from a personal perspective, I was like, as a centre back, and might play 45 minutes really well, then maybe not so well. And I think just the inconsistencies in performance in the whole team maybe led him to make a change. But obviously, Keith had just been sacked from Barnsley as well. So, they probably thought,
Yeah, it's time.
He's a good manager to bring in. Did you find that your inconsistency was because just your age?
Yeah, I think for any young centre-back, like playing week in, week out, some days you're just mentally like tired.
Yeah.
And like some days, like obviously you're trying your best, but like you're just not at the same level. And it takes probably like a couple of years to find that kind of consistency, or not even consistency, but like when I'm not playing well, this is what I need to do.
Yeah. Just like steadying the ship.
Yeah.
Because I do find that easier as a striker or as like a winger, like an attacking player. Like you can be erratic. Do you know what I mean? Like you can feel not up to it, but you can do that little 2 minutes of magic, score a goal or get in the box, and it's great. But as a centre half or a goalkeeper, you've literally got to be on it for 90 minutes and you not make a mistake. Otherwise,
which is hard. There's nothing that special you can do to make everyone be like, he's had a good game.
Yeah.
So you've got to have a good game.
Yeah. The whole time. Whereas a striker, you can be crap, as you know, many a time. Crap for 89 minutes and then do a tapping. You're strolling into the bar like WWF fighter.
That was me at Warrington.
Wasn't it?
I was ready to retire on 70 minutes, thinking I'm going in telling him this is me. Scored in 75 and then 89 to win it.
Really? You was there?
Yeah, I was back.
See, that's it then.
Like,
You're
back, baby.
I'm back.
I ain't fucking leaving.
But it's right though, isn't it? And obviously, as a young centre half, you've basically just got to be steady the whole 90 minutes, not make any mistakes, and just be solid. And keeping that concentration up is very hard. And I think if you look at the stats, I think the average centre half in League One and League Two is between, I think, 28 and 31 or something, the average age. And as you get higher, it's about 25, 26 in the Championship. So if you're playing anywhere at 20, I'm guessing you were.
As a centre half?
As a centre half, yeah, it's good. Same as like centre half and goalkeeper, you're always a lot older once you break in and get that consistent run.
100%. And like some games I'd like play terrible, but I'd do something incredible on the attacking side, and it's like, no, we still lost 3-2. Rhys, like, there's no glory in that, mate.
Yeah. Oh, well, I got one.
You've still let in 3 goals, like you still conceded.
It's my fault for 3 goals, but against York, I ran through the whole team and put it in the net, but you still lost the game.
You're still thinking you're a striker, though, aren't you?
I still thought I was a striker.
Yeah, you got 6, didn't you? 6 goals for Rochdale. Is that in 110?
It's not bad.
It's like mine.
It's like you. One in every 20
15?
games.
Yeah.
Something like that.
No, not good enough for me.
So what was the biggest change that you saw when Keith Hill came in? Did he come in with flickers?
He didn't.
Did he come in with no pants on?
He also did that.
That's what I heard.
He did that quite a lot, almost. He promoted the youth team manager, so Chris Beach, to assistant.
Right, yeah.
He's just been at Fylde, hasn't he?
He's been at Fylde. He was at Carlisle for a while, wasn't he?
He brought me to Carlisle.
Right.
He brought in Chris Beach, and the biggest thing was like the professionalism, and then the way he used to speak to you. I kind of got that tough loving from him, where he just come in and be like, "You think I'm playing you on Saturday when you play like this?" And I'm like, "I've not done anything wrong." He's like, "No."
We're there.
Yeah, and you just get hammered, but in a good way. Like when I look back on my career, it's like, nah, like he did try and push me to,
You felt like he was doing that for the right reasons.
Yeah.
Not just to.
Yeah. I'm like, I don't think I'm naive enough to know like when someone just actually doesn't like you to when someone's trying to push you. But sometimes it did get like, no, just like leave me alone. I just,
Oh really?
I just want to just play football today. I don't want to get shouted at the whole session. But
what was like you said, professionalism? What was the biggest thing in training?
Like you're not slacking off.
Really?
Yeah, we're running like Marines. You're not slacking off. You're giving the ball away. You're getting shouted at. Like it's those kind of standards that.
I don't
It
mind
definitely
that
helps,
though.
yeah,
I don't
helps.
mind
Yeah.
it. Like I find it's like I can only go back to when I played, and I always found it so much harder if training was relaxed all week and then you tried to step it up for the Saturday, rather than if you was like trained your nuts off all week. That step up on a Saturday to match pace wasn't as big of a jump. So it takes a bit of getting used to, because the training's hard and you've got to physically change, haven't you? Did you feel yourself getting fitter and stronger for
Yeah,
throughout the weeks?
100%. I mean, it did get to some extreme levels where we were like on the Eastlands running track in pre-season. So they used to do a pre-season. So like basically didn't have a summer off. Where it was like 6 weeks before, 4 weeks before pre-season started, you would start. And he had this thing. He just woke up one day. He was like, I felt my fittest when I used to do 10K road runs. So that's what we're going to do.
Who said that, Keith?
Yeah.
He's
so
not been doing 10K road runs.
We were doing 5Ks on a track on Eastlands in the middle of June in preparation for pre-season.
See
It
that?
does help though.
It
Just
does.
staying fit.
Of course it does. Yeah, like gone of the days where you'd finish on whatever 12th of May and you didn't do anything apart
2 month
from
piss up.
2 months in Magaluf, come back 3 stone overweight, and then the manager would go, "It's fine. That's what pre-season's for. Pre-season's to lose that weight before the start." None of that now. If you're coming back body fat, like on the first day of pre-season, you're in trouble, aren't you?
You're not even training with something.
No, lads are buzzing. Lads
No,
love
fat club. Come on.
Yeah, get lost. Lads love the pre-season shout now, don't they? But years ago, like it was frowned upon, weren't it?
Yeah. I mean, some players would have got away with it. Let's say you played 45 games and you were a senior player, but not the young players. The young players used to get it.
Did they?
Can't even say anything. either,
Yeah,
can you?
can't say it. Can't say a word. Even if you've scored 20 goals as an under 23, you're not. You're on the track like everyone else.
Yeah, see, I don't mind it. Like I always had a mentality that I was being paid for this. I used to love it. Like I used to piss everyone off because I'd be like, "Come on, lads, fucking could be working in a factory. We're not. We're running. We're getting paid for this." They'd be like, "Shut up, guys, you dick." And like, but that's how you should look at it. Shouldn't you? You're getting paid to get fit. Someone's
100%.
actually getting you up every day to meet up with you to get you to the fittest you can to be a footballer.
And
It's
like
the best job in the world.
Take it.
Yeah.
and it shows because the players that he's made and sold on.
His record of players that have gone on to do like much higher than Rochdale.
It's
Did
incredible.
results change when he come in?
100%, yeah. So we escaped. Well, I say escape. We finished 12th. We escaped relegation, but and then the next
Was
season.
you down there with Coleman though?
Yeah, well, so it was like 15th to 18th. Probably had a couple of
Right.
games in hand,
And they'd just come down from League One.
and it just come down from
So
League
that's the
One.
worrying bit, isn't it?
So then, first year stabilised, second year promotion. So yeah,
Happy
you can't
days.
really
Yeah.
you can't really argue with that.
He's a bit
So
of a legend there, isn't he?
Yeah. Well, he's been back about 4 times, hasn't he?
So he's had his first spell and then his second spell, and then obviously his second spell lasted 4 or 5 years. So yeah,
Did you play at any spell with Tom Kennedy?
I did.
TK coming?
Yeah.
He bought
What a
yesterday.
player he is, man.
Did you like him?
Yeah.
I used to play centre back with him.
Yeah.
What,
And
you
like-
played at centre half?
He played at centre half.
He played centre half for Rochdale for a long time, did he?
He played
like
centre
a bit,
half.
Yeah, but more
In
of
the
a bit of a
2 or a
sweeper
3?
thing, did he?
Yeah, I
drop off as a sweeper, bring it down, ping it.
I used to just head everyone, and I see him bringing it down on his chest and pinging passes. I'm thinking, you know what, I'm in the wrong game here.
I need to say that.
Yeah, TK was
Nah,
a good player, wasn't he?
He was very,
Very
good.
good.
Was that after he come
After he came back from Barnsley,
from Leicester? So
Yeah.
in Leicester Barnsley, did he come to Rochdale when you guys went to League One? Then did you?
yeah. And I used to play centre back with him, and he would just be like, "Rhys, get tight and just give it to TK." And I'd be like, "All right, fair enough." And when I seen him spray that diag, I was like, "You know what? I'm just gonna stay in my little hole,
Stay in my lane.
stay in my lane. I'll pass it to you, and you do all the fancy stuff, mate."
Fair enough. Makes
Great
your
to-
job easier as
Yeah,
well, doesn't it?
great to have a promotion under your belt though as well. That must have felt great.
yeah, that's probably one of the best memories when you think now, like looking back, just those memories of like the promotion and like the togetherness that
Yeah.
you think you don't really get them back. Do you?
How did that season go? Because I remember, like, I think, was it from Christmas to the end of the season? You had a right run.
Yeah, we
Who was up there challenging with you?
So we had Cheltenham, who I think came fourth. We had the Chesterfield team that got promoted, and then I can't remember the other team that got promoted, but it was like 3 teams basically, like they were level on points with 3 games to go, and like as soon as we got promoted, we were done.
Is that
yeah?
See you later.
Yeah.
Like there were no talks about who comes first, second, or third. It was just promotion
Nah,
done.
once we beat Cheltenham with like 2 or 3 games to go to get promoted, we was like Pink Pants Day away to Newport, and like, all the fans are coming to Pink Pants, and yeah, like all the guys that had side bets to like score a certain amount of goals were taking penalties, and like we just had
Was
fun.
it?
We just had fun.
What was it? Go on. What was the Pink Pants Day? Was that for the players and all the fans? and
So
stuff like
the
that?
manager wore pink pants, and then the club got behind
What,
it
on
on the
the
sidelines.
sideline.
So all the fans wore pink pants, and like Newport were like just chilling. We were like obviously happy we got promoted. So the game in itself just didn't become a game. We were like winning 1-0 with at half time. We would have won the league if we would have won the game. But then like it went to 1-1, and then I think one of our players, Matty Lund, took a penalty because he had a side bet with the physio to if he scored 10 goals, you would rent his car out to him or something like that. He ended up missing the penalty. We got beat. He ended up missing the penalty. We got beat. No one really cared, but he was fuming.
Oh, that's class. See, I love stuff like that. And then obviously the fans bought into it.
Yeah.
What a day out.
Everyone just had a nice day out. No one really cared about the game.
Where did you go?
TK
to celebrate?
would have suggested Vegas, 100%.
Oh, to be fair, I think the board said, you know what, if we get promoted, we'll get a certain amount of money, and then we'll take you to Vegas as well. When we got promoted, they were like,
Whoa.
We didn't actually think you'd do it.
Yeah.
Didn't actually think
Staley
you'd
Vegas.
didn't actually think you'd do it, but you know, a few lads actually went out to Vegas.
TK went to Vegas. I know that.
I'm unsure of whether the club actually helped a few lads go to Vegas. But I wasn't one of them, so I'll just keep my nose out.
Where did you go?
We went to Manchester. That beautiful
PFA
place.
PFA card, yeah, into neighbourhood.
What a place that was, by the way.
Oh, I used to love neighbourhood. I lived there for a while.
Did you?
Yeah. What a place.
Good place.
I lasted about 5 minutes in there every time.
Yeah, because you're a scruff.
Just got kicked out
Probably
straight
dancing
away.
on tables and stuff.
Fuck am I done now?
Yeah. Get down from there. Get yourself out. Oh.
So, did you stay for another season after the promotion, or was that when you got off?
I signed a new deal. Stayed for another 2 years.
2 years.
But under Keith, he was like, look, you're not playing centre back for me. Don't trust you yet. So I'd play right back, play sometimes at centre back. Then
Right back? You must be the tallest right back in the league.
tallest right back ever. And he was playing against like Danny Mayer and people like that.
Oh.
And I was just like, you know what? I'm just going to get really tight to him.
Yeah.
I'm going to get really tight to him. And I'm like, at the time I was quick. So I was like, he's not getting it to feet. I'm just going to stand next to him. They play it over the top. I'll beat him in a race. So I was like, that's what I'm going to do.
Yeah,
I'll just stand next to him from like literally 80 yards away from the goal.
Yeah, because you being so tall, if you give them space and he's twisting up,
I don't
you can't move quick enough, can you?
I don't really want to do that.
No.
Through your legs and that.
No.
Who was your toughest opponent in that?
So then once we got to League
Because
One,
Danny May was on fire that season, wasn't he?
Yeah.
He was good.
once we got to League One, I was still playing kind of like right back, and you start seeing some like real wingers, and then I'm like, I'm too tall for this. Then you've got like your Yannick Wiltshots at like Wigan, and then you've got like Daniel Powell at MK Dons.
Yeah.
And then like even when you play Swindon, so like he had this thing where like he used to play me against the best player because I used to be like a destroyer. So when we played Swindon and they had like Nathan Byrne that season where he just absolutely ripped it up, I play against him and it'd be like, wow.
And what would be the pre-match talk? Just get tight to him wherever he goes, stay with him, or was it?
He's their best player. Stop him playing. We're gonna win the game. And
that was your job.
That was my job.
Did you do that well?
I was alright at it.
What if he dropped right in though? Would you have to follow him? Just go with him.
Go with him.
Beautiful.
So then, like, we play Walsall, Romain Sawyers, and
Imagine
you'd be like,
that.
you play CDM,
Imagine that, you'd be like, fucking go away from me. Fucking
Piss.
It's like
off.
this big
How
gangly
big
guy
you
just
are.
like, leave me alone.
Leave me alone. Yeah, tough that though. But that's a whole different side of the game as well for you to do, from going centre half to going right back to basically like your man walking in wherever he's going.
It's like you're playing right back and then you're playing left back.
You haven't got
right
a position
wingers,
really, have you?
Their right wingers, their best player. And then you're playing CDM because their number 10's the best player. And then it got to a point where I was like 22, 23. I had a phone call from an agent. It was like, look, I've got a club that wants to take you on loan, but they don't know where you play. And I was like,
what's your best position?
And I was like, you know what? Like, this is getting serious now. I probably just need to go back and start again and just play the position that I want to play and start my career back from there.
Is that what you actually thought? Did you?
Yeah.
And did you do that? Did you have to have a word with the manager about that?
So when I left Rochdale, I was like, look, I need to pick a position I want to play. I need to find a manager that wants me to play that, and then I just need to start again from there. Yeah.
Gaffer, so get me up front.
But apparently no one's seen me go back to under 14s, so you know.
So you gone. So how did the move go to Mansfield then?
So I had a phone call from Adam Murray, who was the manager. He just said, look, like, I think you've got potential to, like, once you play week in, week out in the same position, to kind of like kick on. So you might see it as like one step back to go 2 steps forward. So, but like, it's a good group of lads.
Weren't he at Fylde as well?
He was, yeah.
How have you not ended up at Fylde, you?
I don't know, because at the time, obviously, Chris Beach was the director of football and Adam Murray was the manager. And I was like, anyone want to...
Like, Rhys, who? I don't know you.
Yeah, apparently he was assistant manager at Besiktas, so you know he forgot about us guys.
Oh, is that what he mentions?
Is that what he meant?
So Mansfield League 2 then. So you've dropped back down to nail a position. How did that go then?
That went all right. So I used to play like centre back, right back, and I was like, look, these are my kind of 2 positions that I want to play. Anything else other than that, you know, I'm not playing left wing, I'm not playing right wing. I'm just playing these 2 positions and trying to play 50 games. But unfortunately, the manager left in November, and then obviously Mr. Evans was the man to.
So we've heard about Steve Evans a few times. Like, he's a character.
If you ask about managers to lads on here, they tell you a few stories, but as soon as you say Steve Evans, like, oh fucking hell, here we go.
They just go, oh, what could I tell you about him without really telling us about him?
I mean, when he was supposed to get the job, like, I got a few messages from friends, and they were like, "Oh, you're gonna absolutely hate this. Like, have you heard he's getting this job?" And I was like, "It'll be all right." Like, you know, I've had a few managers before. Like, it can't be that bad. I've like worked at the Key Phil. He used to shout at me every day, and they were like, "Nah, like, you're not gonna. If he gets that job, you're finished."
Really?
And I remember the first day we trained at St. George's Park, and him and his assistant obviously went around shaking everyone's hands. Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you. And his assistant was like, "Oh, Benno, nice to meet you." Blah 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 blah. And I was like, I don't know this guy. I've never spoken to him before. And like,
yeah, but that fills you with confidence. So like, yes, Benno, how you doing? You're like, oh,
I was like, and like, I played centre back in like an 11v11. You know those 11v11s when it's the manager's first day. Like everyone's
going for it out there.
Yeah, everyone wants to play safety passing. No one wants to give the ball away. Like, I do like a simple head and like, oh yes, well done, Benno. And I'm thinking, that wasn't that good. Like, but everything I did, he used to be like, "Oh, that's incredible." And I'm thinking, you know what? Like, maybe Steve Evans doesn't actually like me, but his assistant really likes me.
A bit too much.
Yeah.
So, Benno, when are we having a shower? No, but like, that must have filled you with a bit of confidence there, though. Just going forward and thinking, I've got a good chance of playing here.
Yeah, and I literally played for the rest of the first season, played centre back under him, and we did well.
Yeah, because I was looking there through your games during that kind of 5-6 year period. You've played over 200 games, which is real good.
And it's funny because under Rochdale, like at Rochdale, in my last season I ended up playing 16 games, just kept getting injured. I like had freak injuries. I broke my arm in pre-season from like a collision in training. I'm thinking,
yeah, I saw the scar.
I was thinking, what's going on here? I had to phone my mum. Was like, oh yeah, by the way, I fractured my arm in 4 places in pre-season. She's like, who's done that? What they done? How big is this guy? I'm like, no, he's only 5'4". And I'm like,
how did it happen?
Literally, we was running in pre-season, and the key fill sessions, we'd play like 4v4 on an 11v11 pitch.
Yeah.
So like any challenge, like best believe you have to run like 50 yards if you don't win that challenge. So every single challenge, people are going in like the life depends on it. So I must have been running forward. He's caught me from the side, and like I've just been like, oh, my arm feels a bit weird. And then I'm looking around at everyone. Everyone's like they've seen a ghost, and I was just like, oh yeah, it is a bit weird, isn't it?
Was it out? Is it
fractured? Just
all over the place?
It wasn't even all over the place. It was just kind of like those cartoons, right? But yeah, like I played 16 games in my final season at Rochdale, and then I broke the record because I played every minute of every game in my first season at Mansfield. So like literally every single competition that we played in, I played every minute of it.
Did you?
Yeah.
That's good to have as well, isn't it?
Yeah, he was gonna joke that like in the last game he was gonna take me off with 5 minutes to go, but I wouldn't have loved the pitch.
But that's so. Let's go back 4 years to when that first year at Rochdale, where you were saying that you couldn't play 45 minutes of consistency. So you'd have a good half, then your second half would be poor, or your next game would be poor. You've then 4 years on, like we talked about, you've gone and played every minute of every game. So that consistency is obviously there, and that's
either that or I had no players.
That's a yeah.
Did you play well? You was playing well though.
I was playing. Yeah, to be fair, over that 2-year period, like I was playing well. It's funny because they signed me on a deal which wasn't so great, and then Steve Evans came in, and wherever Steve Evans goes, the money goes before him. So he ended up just kind of giving me my option on like 20 quid more, and then signing someone on 4 times my wage to compete with me.
Do your head in that?
Well annoying, but
like it's always the lads in the club who never get as much as the lads who are brought in, and usually the lads who are brought in are no better than the lads who are already there.
You don't. And like it was one of those things where I was thinking, I got player of the season there in my first year, and I was like, you know what, if he doesn't like me, like I've played every game, so like I've obviously got an option over my head, so like if he doesn't like me, he'll just release me and I can go somewhere else and play. If he does like me, then the club's got money now, so I'm gonna get a good deal.
Yeah,
20 quid.
You just took up the option.
Took up my option.
Played every minute of every game. Won player of the season. And takes up your option.
Takes up my option and signs 3 centre-backs on 4 times my wage for me to compete
God,
with.
You must have been fuming.
Could you not have got out at that point?
And then I said, okay, well, if like you don't want to take if you don't want to give me a new deal and you're signing these guys, can I leave? And it was like, yeah, we'll slap 150 grand on your head. And luckily, our team actually did bid 100 grand, and he was like, no, we want 200 now. And I was like, so I can't play, I can't leave, like.
Do
Yeah, that's
you know
shit.
what?
After what you've done for him.
Yeah, and the contract that you're on probably doesn't reflect the amount of money that they're asking for you either.
Oh no, absolutely not.
Like if they're valuing you as a 200 grand
player on
in your option year,
in my option
pay
year,
me what I'm worth. Then.
Yeah.
That's
what I mean. Put me on a contract that reflects that.
Yeah.
Couldn't leave, couldn't stay, couldn't play until November.
What was your agent saying?
Why couldn't you play till November?
Because he basically invested in these players. So
he was starting them.
He has to start them, doesn't he? Until it gets to a point where it's like.
Did he speak to you about that?
No, absolutely not. He was just like, these are more experienced. Obviously, I was still 24 as a centre-back. These guys are 32. These are more experienced. These are multiple promotion winners. These guys are going to get us promotion because that's all I'm here for.
They're also older. They're also more prone to injury. They're also slower.
Well, one of them actually retired from an injury at the end of that season. And from November until March, I got in the team, and then we really kicked on. And it's
so how did you mentally cope going back pre-season, seeing them lads sign, knowing that you're not going to start the season, and then
you can't go
basically
anywhere.
Sat on the bench till November?
Can't can't do anything. It's like you kind of like in football prison. But it's like, right, well,
were you playing reserves? Were you playing in-house games?
We didn't even have like a reserve team to like play, so you just wasn't playing. I remember the first game that I actually did play. I had to come on as a sub because he played a centre mid and centre half before he even played me.
Cheers, Gaffer.
I don't get what you've done to deserve it though. It's mad, isn't it?
It's just
It's
football.
sometimes
Like
nothing, innit?
if a
People's
manager's got
opinions.
a thought of something in his head,
Yeah.
like say for example, I wasn't aggressive as a centre half, which is what I kind of knew from like looking back at it, then he was just like, nah, like he said to this centre back, he was like, look, don't be losing headers like Rhys, like you need to be more aggressive kind of thing. And I
He said that in front of everyone.
he didn't say that in front of everyone, but the guy told me he said it, and I was thinking, oh, so that's why I'm not playing. So then I ended up obviously getting
Just
in the
speak to me,
team,
though.
and I
Yeah.
just like,
Do you know what I mean? Just as a manager,
That's literally slagging you off.
like if I ever, I'm never going to do it, but if I ever became a manager, it'd just be open and honest with players. Like, they might not like it, they might fall out with you, but at least you're honest. Like, you're not playing on Saturday because of A, B, and C.
Imagine
Not just fucking lying
John
to
and
them.
Bird had said to me, don't be as shit as Gaz on Saturday.
Yeah,
I'd be like,
what's Gaz done? And don't tell him.
I've already told him.
Imagine
Just
that.
texted him now.
but it went full circle because like the same manager that stopped playing me for like 6 months ended up calling me at the end of that season when he signed for Peterborough to bring me.
You must have had doubts whether to go. But just let's just go back to. So did you have a bad start to the season then as a team, and it got to a point where
Yeah.
he had to bring you in November because they were leaking goals? I'm guessing.
We wasn't winning games. So the two previous centre backs that were playing the year before, both of us weren't playing, and he brought this kind of like new team in,
Yeah.
with like obviously people with like grander CVs and stuff like that. But yeah, we actually didn't start playing anywhere near like a team until mid-November, and then we went on a run until March, and then he kind of got the Peterborough job and left.
Did he just bring you in? Did he sit you down? Did he did he speak to you, or was it just train as normal, team selection? Oh, fucking hell, I'm in this week.
Well, obviously he kind of tried his best not to play me, but in fairness to him,
Oh shit, I've got to play.
yeah, it's like, look, I've got 4 injuries. I'm playing a centre mid at centre back. He's got injured.
No.
Do you want to play Barlett away? I was like, yeah, I'll come on and I'll mark John Akinde. And then, everyone's like, oh, like you played really well and that. And then didn't say a word, but
That's
then
where
started
you're
on the
sort of
Saturday.
like- some of the lads are like, oh, bloody hell, you did really well then. You're like,
Yeah.
I'm not shit,
Yeah.
I'm
Hey,
not,
well, don't you want to ever?
I'm not shit.
This is my job.
But it's like, it's funny in football, isn't it? Because like the players just kind of naturally assume without even thinking that the players not playing aren't as good as the players that are playing.
Yeah.
So then when you actually come in and play well and they get reminded of that, they're like, oh, like you actually did really well. And I'm like, yeah.
Don't patronise me.
See, you can do it. Oh, I hate that.
I could have done it all season.
You've just not played, man. What was his training like then? What's his like? Why does everyone have that same like? Oh yeah, about him.
He just doesn't shut up. He has this thing about standards, but he literally like when we train, he used to stand on the sideline and he just used to bark the whole session. Like starting from the warm up. So when we start from the warm up, I'm like, obviously the lads jog around the pitch. If there's someone that's lagging behind, he starts and that's him gone for the day. He's like, squeeze it up at the back. And he's like, what? You think this is Tuesday? You think we're having a lazy day today? And he was just like, oh,
Who
my
set him
God.
off?
Yeah, why have you done
Yeah.
that?
Just put 50p in him.
And then the warm up has to be like obviously you do like little volleys and half volleys. If you drop a ball, like he's kicking off, and then it just leads into the whole session. And then obviously the session will be good. Everyone will be barking at each other. Gaffer's barking the whole session. And he's like, right, well done, guys. Good session.
Yeah.
And
Really
he's
pleased
just
you
like, oh,
today.
my head's hurting.
Realise just
Yeah, it's just, and
Just
that's
what, just-
literally constant every
just too
single
intense
day.
or just
too intense every day. And you've seen him on the sidelines on the Saturday. That's how he is during the week.
Madness.
It is good though that he's doing it for a reason. If after it is fine, he's like, oh, well done, guys.
Well done. Yeah. Did you hear the story about when he went for a poo on the bus?
Yeah, I mean, respectfully, because he signed me 3 or 4 times. But in terms of, he's not the best human being in terms of hygiene.
Yeah, well, but he has come back for you, hasn't he? So
so talk about that. So you broke into the side in November because they had 9 injured centre backs and you were the only one fit.
A couple of injured centre mids.
You've then played for him and for the team till March time. In March he's left, so he didn't even stay till the end of the season.
No,
he's got off for the Peterborough job, and then end of the season, he's rang you.
It's funny because
hello, son.
I know I've not played you.
With no midfielders or centre halves, you want to coincide? How did that phone call go down then?
This is mad because it's funny because I'd hated him the whole season. And I ended up playing, but still hating him. But I'm playing now, I'm playing.
I like him a bit better.
I like him a bit more.
Yeah.
I still don't really like getting shouted at every day, but we're playing and we're doing all right.
Yeah.
And then David Flitcroft takes the job once he leaves because apparently he was going to go to China, but got a phone call from Peterborough.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
And then David Flitcroft takes over. And obviously David Flitcroft is one of the best mates of Keith Hill. In his first session, he's like, am I going to be all right standing next to you in this circle? Because, obviously in the circle, the ones next to you, when you give it away, go in. And I was just thinking, why would you say that?
Yeah, you don't
I was thinking, that's the first time you've ever met me. Why would you say that? And I was thinking, oh my God, I actually miss Steve Evans here. As mad as it is, I actually miss Steve Evans because I ended up not playing or being in and out for the rest of the season. And then he was saying look, I want to get my own players in.
Flickers was?
Yeah, I've got a phone call from Port Vale. Would you mind going there? And bearing in mind, I've played 75 games in the last season and a half.
Yeah.
And I'm doing well. But he's like, Port Vale would be good for you. I'm thinking
that old chestnut again.
I'm thinking
if I weren't here, I'd be at Port Vale. It's the only other club I'd be at. You should go.
Thinking, what? All right, I understand. Me and you, it's not a good match, but Port Vale. But it's funny because all the Mansfield fans think, all right, obviously Steve left and then I went there, but it was actually none of it. I was just thinking, oh wow, a club in League One wants me.
Yeah.
Although it's obviously Steve, but the other option is going to Port Vale.
And you knew that you weren't staying at Mansfield.
They released me.
You've got that's the biggest thing about fans sometimes. They don't understand I'm going to give you a big word here, the perplexities of everything that goes on underneath. They'll probably just see that Steve Evans have gone, like you said, and you've just jumped ship and gone to League One. But really, you've been let go.
They released me.
You've
and
got
it's
to look
funny.
after yourself, haven't
I
you?
stayed in the clubhouse and they released me and it was listen, take as much time as you want to, pack up and that,
Take as much time as you want, but be gone. Bye.
We've got a new tenant in at 3.
But as soon as I signed for Peterborough, they were like, look, we've got someone else coming in. Can you, be gone by this date? And the guy that was coming in was also my friend. So I spoke to him and he was like, no, it's chill. I'm not moving in for another 6 weeks. But yeah, the club just didn't like it that even though they'd released me, I'd gone to a team in a higher league, which is weird because they've released me.
Yeah. So how have you first heard about it then?
So Barry Fry came to watch our last game of the season, and it's lucky that I actually played because he came to watch another centre back who they signed that played for Crawley, Josh Yorworth.
Right, okay.
So he came to watch him, and I also played against him in that game, and we kind of both played well, so they signed both of us. But this is as much knowledge as Steve Evans had of me at the time. So I was 26. And then one of his first messages was like, how much do you think the club will want for you in compensation? And my agent was like, he's 26.
What do you think you was like?
He thought I
You
was.
got me under
He thought
21
I was
or
a
something,
young.
innit?
He thought it was a young centre back, and I thought like I couldn't grow a beard at that time. I was like, I'm 26,
And
That must be where that wiki picture's from.
you're out of contract.
and I'm out of contract. There's no compensation needed.
Yeah.
But that's how much you probably thought. Oh, this guy's a young
This is
centre
after
back.
he's.
I'm going to get some more
Is
experience.
this after he's
players.
had you for a year as well?
He's had me for a year.
You don't know your age.
Don't know my age.
Jesus Christ.
That's brilliant. We're going to bring in this young 21-year-old. 26? Fucking hold off a minute. We've signed him, Gaffer. Oh, fucking hell.
Did you have to do some of them like legendary, like Barry Fry's office signing on meetings?
No,
Did you meet Barry when you went in then?
I didn't meet Barry. I went to the gaffer's house. Yeah.
Go on then.
So, he just said, look, like,
I'd love it if he walked in. Come and sit down. It's fine. As though he don't know him. Never met him before.
What's it?
Crunchy cream, cup of tea. You all right? So where have you been?
Oh,
Go on, tell
he
us.
said, I have a barbecue. You know, I'm having a barbecue. Would you want to drive down? Obviously, drove from Manchester to Peterborough to meet him and his family. Sat with him. I'm thinking, this is a bit awkward.
Get
But,
out
you know,
and some food on that barbecue.
don't worry, we were well stocked. Yeah, just me and my girlfriend. I said to my girlfriend, I was like, look, like,
Please come with me.
I was like, going to a barbecue, like, I just don't really want to go on my own. You just come and, like, you know, just chat and take the pressure off it. She's like, you hate him. I was like, I know, but, you know, like, just, you know, come and be civil. And
Had he offered you any personal terms at this point?
He hadn't, no.
No, just coming down and have a chat.
yeah, so chatted, gave it the big build up, this and that, you know, and then probably one of his best tactics that he does, you know, gives you the barbecue, meet his family and this and that. And he's just like, look, I'm going to message you an offer. Just let me know if it's, you know, within a ballpark figure, which, you know, you find acceptable. There's obviously some room to grow. And he messaged me the offer, and I was thinking, this is terrible, but it's obviously more than what I was on, because he knew that, because he was a Mansfield manager. And I was like, yeah, like, this is okay as a starting point, probably need to bump it up. And he was like, no, that's the offer, take it or leave it. You've got 24 hours.
Oh, go on then. Okay.
See, that's the.
That's pretty much what Barry Fry does in them interviews.
Yeah, but I suppose the carrot is you're going up a league, isn't it?
You're going up a league. I was on £500 or £600 more than what I was on before. Obviously, once I got there, I was on £700 less than everyone else. But at the time, it's like, oh, you can go Port Vale or you can go here. If I would have waited, probably would have got a Coventry or a Luton, and obviously look where those clubs are at now. But at the time, it was like Port Vale, or you accept this offer, you've got 24 hours. It's League One, you're going to play. What do you want to do?
You're taking it, aren't you?
Well, you have to. You have to. But that's why nowadays, though, like your agent does all that, because he then, like, his due diligence before there, he goes in and knows what everybody in that team is on. So then when that offer comes over to him, it's not you turning it down, it's him saying, no, I know this player's on X, Y, and Z. He's coming in to play in that position, and it needs to be at this level.
As nice as the barbecue was.
As nice, yeah. It's
Yeah.
so hard for a player when the manager's got, you got 24 hours. That's it.
Are you finished with that?
Imagine, I'm going to send you over an offer. Let me know if it's all right. You're like, yeah, okay. Beep, beep. He's sat next to him.
I was thinking that you were taking your missus was going to know what you was on around the table at the barbecue.
But well, so go on then. Like, you had to, I suppose you had to go back, have a bit of a chat. Was your missus going to move down with you?
So the beauty of it was she lived in London at the time. Obviously, I met her when I was at Mansfield, and she lived in Sheffield, but she moved down to London to study.
Right.
And I thought, you know what, I'll live in London and commute up, because it's probably like 80, 90 minutes, and obviously could use my reload to like stay down the night before games or stay up the night before games and stuff. So that's kind of what I did for the first year.
Flip, she moved to London.
I moved to my girlfriend's in London, yeah.
Whereabouts are that?
Was that rent free?
Yeah.
Yeah, there we go. I knew there
I
was
was
some,
like, I'll save up a little
yeah,
bit.
there's some catch
Whereabouts
there
in London
somewhere.
though?
Muswell Hill. So it's like near Alexandra Palace. You can walk to Alexandra Palace from
Right.
it. So it's like northwest.
Nice part.
So nice. It's like walking to
Beautiful.
the gym and you like walk past Cat Slater. Just and you're like,
Get out,
swear.
get out of my fucking gym.
And you're
All right,
like,
cat.
Right, Rhys.
and you're just like, wow, like this place is nice.
Yeah,
This is a different area to like West Thornton.
yeah. So how did the first season go then?
Obviously I spoke about obviously moving to London, and for the first 3 or 4 months of the season like, I was flying, and then I kind of got like, I'd say like mentally fatigued.
Yeah,
Like the
just
traveling
with
is
the travelling,
it's
yeah,
too
it's
much.
too much.
Too much, and then it
You
started.
scored a few for him as well, didn't you?
Yeah, I think I got 4 in my first season. Yeah, like I say,
What,
like
corners, headers.
just stick your head and stuff. Stick your head and stuff. And I played striker as well growing up, so like little flick-ons and stuff. I was alive. I was like, who's this big gangly guy? Why is he?
Fox in the box.
Terry Henry. So go on, yeah. So like that first season, you got in,
Yeah.
you played. How did you find that? How did you find the level? Was it that much different between League Two?
Yeah,
Yeah.
like concentration-wise, you think like, oh, someone's shooting from 20, 30 yards in League Two. You're like, go on then, please. Like, I just want to rest.
Yeah.
And then like you're playing against like wingers that like more often than not they're crossing it over the bar and stuff. Whereas I remember my first training session, like obviously we had Matty Godden as a striker. Obviously Ivan was there and Jason Cummings.
Right.
And like I'd see them go over my shoulder, but I'd think, yeah, I can't be bothered. Like they're not gonna pick him out. The cross was right on the money and they scored. And I remember thinking, yeah, this is different.
In training.
Yeah, like the crossing, literally, if you left your man for like a second, the cross is right on the money, takes you out of the game, and the striker scores. I remember thinking, yeah, I'm going to need to step up.
I've got to step up
yeah.
here. I've got to ask a question.
Yeah.
What was Ivan Toney like at that stage? Because I've heard a few stories that he was, well, I suppose you'll tell me, like super talented, but mentality just wasn't there at that time.
It's funny because, like I say, we started the season on fire. We think we won like our first 6 or 7 games, and he wasn't in the team.
Was he not?
No, so we had Matty Godden, who's obviously
Yeah.
Coventry and now at Charlton, and Jason Cummings, who's obviously Scottish international, and them two were literally on fire. And like Ivan couldn't get in the team, but you could see how good he was.
How old would he have been then?
So I think he was like 22, 23.
So not young.
He's not young.
Not
He
young.
is for a
is it?
striker, though, isn't he?
No,
Really?
not really. Not young. Like League One, 23 as a striker, like you should be playing. I get it if he's 18.
When he's that good.
Well, no, he's like,
Did you ever see him playing for like Brentford in the Prem in England?
So like in the first 6 months, you could see he was good, but like he wasn't playing. And then the end of that season, he started playing, and then you remember thinking like, this guy's good. But then the second season, you're like, yeah, he's gonna play in the Prem.
he was awesome, weren't he? That second
Absolutely
season.
ridiculous. Like he'd do things in training where you think, you know what, that's too good for me.
Right.
That's got to be a mentality thing as well, isn't it?
He did.
You know, like a confidence thing. Think like a believing in your own ability, trying stuff that 6 months ago you wanted, and when
Yeah.
you weren't scoring, you had no confidence. All of a sudden, you have that belief, and you try things and do stuff, and it comes off, and all of a sudden, then that's when you.
That's
And he's a
football.
monster.
That is football,
That's
and it's
football.
total mental thing. I think.
Like obviously when Steve got sacked and Darren Ferguson came back in, he kind of was like, look, you are my guy. Like
Darren did.
yeah, he said that to Ivan, and you seen Ivan just literally just skyrocket. Like you'd see him just scoring goals from the halfway line in training, lobbing the keeper and stuff, and you remember thinking,
This guy's
just
good.
isn't real. Like just
And
scoring.
was it at the end of that season that he got his move?
And then the end of the second season, or it might have been, end of the second season, he got his move to Brentford. And I remember speaking to people and I'm like, look, like this guy's going to play in the Prem. And like, no, he scored like 20 goals in League One. Like, what do you want about? And I'm like, no, please just watch
Trust
the
me,
goal.
just
Watch,
hear me
even
out.
if you don't trust me, just watch the goals that he's scoring.
Yeah.
Scoring headers from the edge of the box. He's scoring volleys from 40 yards. He's chipping keepers.
Was he quick as well?
Was he putting hackers on?
Yeah.
Was he actually then?
Yeah.
Yeah. He's done it for a long time, hasn't he? Was he putting hackers on? Oh,
Peterborough win.
Tony just go first. But yeah, go on. What were you saying?
He literally, like, the goals that he was scoring, the volleys and stuff like that. And if he had one thing, pace, like, that's literally the only thing. Like, he wasn't slow, but, like, if he had that, he just, yeah.
He wasn't electric, was he?
No.
But he's powerful.
Powerful.
Yeah.
Strong.
He looks quick in the Prem now, though. Is that working?
Definitely,
was he not that big?
It'd definitely improve
Yeah.
on it, won't they? Like, they do the work on it, don't they?
Mm.
And, like, he looks a natural athlete anyway.
He is, yeah. That's one thing you could say, natural athlete, like,
Sound guy as well.
good guy.
Yeah.
Was it? He's a good guy. Good to have around the dressing room and stuff.
Yeah, good character, good guy.
Ed, what were your pre-season, like, Christmas parties like at Peterborough?
Pre-season Christmas parties?
Well, pre-season and Christmas, like, the whole shebang. End of
Right,
season dues, like, what were they like?
I remember we went to Newcastle and we went out on a Saturday night, but we ended up getting like a minibus to travel up there and then the minibus back. And then obviously these football clubs, they have stupid rules like, look, everyone has to be here at 12 o'clock on a Monday. And we're just going to do some light training and then you can go, but everyone needs to be back here by 12.
Yeah.
And I remember us getting in this.
It should give you enough time from Saturday. Should
Yeah,
it? Back
12
to 12 Monday.
No, you got to go out Sunday as well, haven't you?
Yeah, we was out on a Sunday and we were thinking, why are we in on? We've never been on a Monday. Like on a Monday after a Christmas do, like no one's in it. Like you just travel back and then just kind of wallow in.
Turn up Tuesday, talk about the weekend.
Yeah.
Train.
Yeah.
But he was like, look, everyone needs to be back here by 12 o'clock on Monday. I remember us like the taxi being late and I remember just thinking, there's like 5 guys of us. We're going to be late for training. We're in this cab from Newcastle going back to Peterborough. I remember just thinking.
On the Monday morning?
On the Monday morning. I think we left at like 10. And this taxi driver's doing like 110s down the motorway. And I remember feeling rough as hell, just thinking, you know what, I'm just going to go to sleep here. If I make it to training, I'll make it to training.
If I die,
I die. I'll just go to sleep. And then I think we got there with like 2 minutes to spare or something like that. And remember us all giving like the taxi driver like 50 quid each, just being like, yeah, mate, you were a hero.
Saved us from sleep.
He went, I'll tell you what, if you got from Newcastle to Peterborough
on the A1
in 2 hours,
yeah,
he's going more than 110.
Fair play to him.
So what did you do on the Monday then? Did you run it off or what?
Literally, we just like did a warm up and then went in. And I was just thinking,
yeah, what is, you just cost me 300 quid. Cheers.
What was Ivan like on the night out?
He's good, man. He's good value because obviously he played for Newcastle before,
That's
so
right,
in Newcastle he's he's known. So
good looking kid as well, isn't he?
Yeah, he's a good looking lad, and yeah. Newcastle's brilliant for a night out as well.
Oh, very good.
Any real characters in that dressing room at the time?
Jason Cummins.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've known of him. He started off the season absolutely electric. He ended up getting sent back because his antics were a bit too much. Yeah.
What, even if he's playing and scoring?
Yeah,
if he's still getting sent back.
So you know how football works. So when he's playing and scoring, and they get drunk on a Saturday and like they just like trash the apartment. I remember him throwing like a TV out the window.
How high up was he?
I don't even know, but he got out. And I remember Steve Evans going on the radio and saying like, oh yeah, like he's going through a bad time. He's just broke up with his girlfriend, etc. None of this was true, but he was just playing and scoring goals. The minute that stopped and the antics kept carrying on, he's gone.
Was there?
Yeah.
There's no sticking up for him if he's not doing the business on the pitch, is there?
No, but he was a character. He has a hand tattoo of like a smile. And when he scores, he does like the little Joker thing. But honestly, he's such good fun, man. But
is he the one with the blonde hair?
Yeah, he is blonde. Striker, Scottish.
He ended up getting done for something, didn't he? I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But those kind of characters, you'll never forget.
You do need a couple, don't you?
Yeah.
Great to have in the dressing room, aren't they?
So what have you done this weekend? I just dashed my telly.
It's funny
6
because
points.
like we played Charlton away, and like I've come from Mansfield. I was on like less than £1,000 a week, and I come to Peterborough, you know, lads are on decent money, and then like speak about like a betting culture or a gambling culture. We're like in Canary Wharf playing Charlton on a Tuesday night, and these guys are like rolling the casino and losing like 4, 5, and 6 grand 3 hours before a game. And I remember thinking, this just isn't my world here.
Yeah.
Like I just remember
I
thinking,
just lost a month's wage.
like I'd be crying. Like I'm
Yeah,
not playing if I've lost 5 grand on a roulette. And they're like, nah, like, we'll go again and that, and just passing time before a game. And I'm thinking, yeah, this is a different world.
That's
for me,
headspace.
this.
Like
Yeah,
you
yeah.
couldn't be in right front.
No,
Well,
you can't play after that.
I told the story about when I joined in with all the pros playing cards, and this was when Berry had no money, and we drove down to Brighton on the coach.
Wow.
So I think we set off at like, say we met the coach at 6 a.m. for like a 5-hour drive, and then was
Cards all the way.
cards
Shoot
all
the
the
pot.
way, shoot the pot. Like I lost 800 quid, which at the time was only on £400 a week.
That's big
So I
money.
lost, I lost like half a month's wage. I got off the coach. I was like, I ended up getting sent off.
Yeah.
And it was all down to like me losing that. I had no energy.
That's a terrible day, that.
It's a terrible
Yeah.
day. And then it's like you've got the whole journey back up. The gaffer banned me from cards ever playing it again on the coach. And
What did they find out what happened?
yeah, he found out.
You've wasted all your energy needing a 10 on 11.
Yeah.
Like,
Whoa, come on, ace, shoot the pot, and then get a 4. No. So I've got down to Brighton, and my energy spent. I'm near enough crying because I've lost 800 quid. Get sent off.
it's a bad day, isn't it?
Yeah, got absolutely battered by
Yeah.
Brighton, and then you got a fucking
Just
6-hour
don't do it.
journey
Don't do it,
home.
lads. Just don't do it.
But yes, different world,
Oh,
isn't
be
it?
the dealer. They always win.
Yeah, be the dealer. Yeah, just watch from the sideline. So obviously you spent 2 years at Peterborough, and then gone to Carlisle. Who was it? Beat you, brought you to Carlisle then?
Yeah. So
And then, sorry, just quick. So from there, you've basically gone 1 year to the end of your career, haven't you? So yeah, Carlisle
so
beat you.
basically, in my second year at Peterborough, I wasn't going to play because obviously manager brought his new players in after the first season, and I said to him, like, I was like, look, like, you know, I've managed to play 40 odd games in my first season. Like, you can get your own players in if you want, but like, obviously, can I go? And he's like, no, like, we need you.
Cheers, Darren.
Signs his players, and then he's like, you can go. And I was like, right, okay, well, obviously I asked you 2 months ago. Now the answer's different.
Now you've killed me.
Now,
But like now I've got my players and I know that my squad's fine. Now you can go, and I'll give you like 2 weeks to be able to get out.
and then he was like, but also, you're not going out to League One. We're putting on a game. We've texted this manager your number. You can go to the bottom of League Two. And I was like, no. Like, you've told me I need to stay. Now you're telling me I want to go. Now you're trying to guide me out to a team that, you know, obviously looks nice on you.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't really want to do that. And he was like, okay.
Who was the team at the time?
Stevenage.
Right.
And they weren't doing so well. And I was just like, look, I've got offers in League One, but you're not accepting them, but you want me to go to League Two. So I just didn't want to do it. And then they were like, well, we've sold someone else now, so we need you to stay.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I just ended up being in limbo for like 4 or 5 months on my second season there. And then it got to around November, December, where obviously COVID started hitting in, but like unofficially, where everyone kind of got ill before COVID was a thing, like in the February after.
Yeah.
Everyone started getting ill, and then I started playing. But before I started playing, I was like, look, obviously I haven't played. Like, I'm coming in every day and like I'm working hard. Can I go in January? He was like, yeah, not a problem. Then I started playing. So I got like the whole of December, ended up playing against Burnley in the FA Cup, started January. I was like, Gaffer, like, I know I'm playing now. I know I'm doing all right. Like, does our agreement still stand? Yeah, no, not a problem. So they were supposed to sign another centre-back, but he had ended up failing his medical. So when I was like, look, I found the club. You said I can go. Like, I want to go now. They were like, no, you're not going.
Yeah.
And I was like, but you
Promised me.
You promised it 2 or 3 times, and I've said, like, look, it's not a problem if you say I can't go now, but like, I'm obviously going to look to go. I know I'm playing now. They were like, no, like, you can go. But obviously they tried to sign someone else. Didn't think you were like, no, you're not going.
It's so selfish, isn't it, football?
Yeah, do you not wish you'd have been a bit more selfish at times?
Yeah, so probably...
It is difficult to force your way out, though, isn't it, as well?
I think looking back now, I was probably a bit too nice of a person. I should have said, right, okay, that's fine. I'm not coming to training. But you need me here for cover. You're not going to get that cover, so you may as well let me leave.
Yeah, but it wasn't in you.
But then it is.
You start not getting paid.
You start then getting fined. You start then getting bad mouthed by managers. To
Some
other
people
managers
can do it though, can't they?
Some people can do it if they force their way out, but it is a risk. It is a risk.
I think looking back at that age where you're like 26, 27, where you've kind of not caused anyone else a problem before. And if you explain the situation to someone, you probably would have got away with doing that. But anyway, so I finished the season there, and I got a phone call from a club that was about to get promoted to the Championship. And it got down to the day that I was supposed to sign there, but I ended up failing the medical there.
Oh no!
So I failed the medical there. Peterborough didn't get promoted because of COVID.
Failed on what?
So in my knee, there's little to no cartilage there, but it hadn't affected anything in my career.
Right.
But obviously once you scan it, medically it looks one way. Physically, it felt a different way.
Yeah.
What did they say? Like, you failed this?
They were just like, look.
Did you have any clue about this at the time?
No.
No.
So it hadn't affected me in terms of playing or training or anything like that. But I think they got an anonymous tip off. Like,
really?
Yeah, from you might want to have a look at his right knee. And it was like, look, like they literally went through all my previous history. You broke your arm, you did this, you did that. What about this? What about that? And I was like, yeah, fine. They were like, right, cool. We're gonna scan your right knee, just to be sure. And once they scanned it, they were like, yeah, like, and obviously you came into signing that we're not. It's too much of a high risk for us.
Who do you think the tip off was from?
Could have been from the football club that I previously played for. Obviously, this is all hearsay, but if I think,
can you say which club it was going to be?
What where he was going?
Yeah, I was gonna go to Wickham.
Okay.
Is that
Gareth Ainsworth at the time?
Yeah.
Rockstar.
Yeah. So like he'd spoken to me all summer, and that it would have been a very nice contract.
Yeah, great move.
It probably wouldn't have looked great on Peterborough me going there, with them not getting promoted, Wickham getting promoted, and then a player that they haven't played getting a move to Wickham. So.
Oh, that's unlucky. That's heartbreaking. That, innit?
Yeah.
That Championship move, and then someone grasses you up
for something that's not affecting.
So did Peterborough did they scan you when you went in there?
No.
So how did they know you had an issue with your knee?
Obviously, like, you speak to physios and that, like, right. Can I come and game ready? My knee's a bit sore, but like, this is me doing it. Can I come game ready for Saturday to make sure I'm ready for Saturday? I'm not missing training on Friday or anything like that. I'm just like keeping on top of it.
You think they've just tipped him off?
Yeah,
maybe.
I'm just like,
just check his right knee just in case.
Fuck's sake.
Fucking cheers. So you've ended up having to go to Carlisle.
So then it's like you're almost September because that season started late, and then it was like, right, well, you've almost got to move there. Should we just wait and see, if somebody else breaks down or something comes up late, and then end up waiting. But then, like, I don't know how widely it's spread about that you failed a medical. I don't know if that gets back, and then all of a sudden, then any player who fails any medical, it's a red flag against you, innit, all the time. Exactly, yeah. It's like I got a message from one of the centre backs that I used to play with at Peterborough, who eventually signed for them, and he was like, "Oh, like, I heard like Wickham were gonna sign you. Like, oh, it'd be nice to play with you again. Like, what's happening with you there?" And I was like, "I ain't really got the heart to tell you that you're the person that's replacing me because I'm not signing for them anymore." But I was just like, "Yeah, like, club's good. Like the manager seems like a really nice guy and that. And then obviously he signed for them and I didn't.
That is grim, that, isn't it? Does it still piss you off now? Or not?
It's one of those things. I honestly couldn't have done anything about it. Like if I would have known my knee was in that situation, then it would have been nice to, prepare for that. But I didn't know. It was, at that time, I hadn't missed any games.
You can't really do anything.
No. So because you had to wait so long, you signed a little short-term deal at Carlisle till January.
Chris Beach was good with me. He said, listen, like, I know your situation, because obviously I told him, because he's like a good friend in football. And he was like, look, I'll give you a 6-week deal. I'll get you fit. You can play, and then we'll see where you're at in terms of January. So I had that 6-week deal. I ended up scoring 3 goals in 6 weeks from centre-back. Doing really well. The team were like top of the league by the time January came. And I was like, right, I've got offers now in League One.
Yeah.
But I'm going to win the league and like League Two. And I'm like playing really well.
Yeah.
So I was like, so do I take like a mid-table League One or do we try and get promoted here? And I was really enjoying it. So it was like the first time in my career where I'd like got a manager and he was like, you're the guy.
Yeah.
So I was like, you know what? Like, I'll stay. So I chose to stay and turn down some League One offers, which I pissed a lot of managers off. Which,
Yeah, what are you doing?
Yeah. And then it just didn't go well. So we ended up getting COVID as a team, and we ended up having like 4 or 5 matches called off. And going from like top of the league, we had like 6 games in advance of everyone and had to play like 15 games within the space of like 2.5 months. And it was just too much for us. And we just kind of capitulated.
Where'd you end up that season?
I think we finished like 10th or something.
Did you?
Yeah, it literally just fell.
Oh, and then you got offered a new deal.
Yeah.
But then Steve Evans come calling again.
It's weird because this is another of things that, obviously footballers go through that not really many people speak about. So I signed a 6-week deal just to play. And then obviously I got some good offers in League One. So they offered me a bit more money to stay. So the offer that I got at the end of the season was less money than what I got offered in January. And they were like, we want to keep you, but we're offering you less money. And I was like, so I've got an offer in a higher league on pretty much double the money that you're offering me, but you're putting out to the fans that it's me that doesn't want to sign the deal.
Yeah.
And trying to make me the bad person. And this was the time that I was streaming on Twitch. So somebody asked me and I was like, please don't ask me about this situation. It's not me that doesn't want to sign. And I'm not going to put the club on blast, but just to give you some context of the situation. I'm not going to talk figures, but the offer is less than what I'm on now. So, and they're asking me, like, telling me, like, putting me under pressure to sign it. I've got offers that are double that in League One, so why would I sign that?
Yeah. The thing is, though, in any other job, no person
Yeah,
will
I was
accept
just
that.
about to say that.
Like, just
if you're a builder and they say, right, we're going to have to give you like 150 quid a day, not 170, you'd be like, no,
Yeah,
I'll go and find somewhere else.
Yeah, and this other firm here, going to give you 300 quid a day, but we want you to stay.
Yeah, you're a prick.
Yeah, you bastard.
Just doesn't work, does it?
It doesn't work.
In any other form of life or job, nobody would accept it, would they?
No.
And the thing is like, I built up a good like rapport with the fans and stuff. And I was like, look, please, I don't want to ruin my relationship with you guys because of what these guys are doing to me.
It's horrible as a footballer because all you want to do is to go online and just tell everybody the truth, don't you?
And I was like,
Well,
look,
it did.
I did.
Did you do it? Did you do that on?
I just said, yeah. Got myself into trouble. Had the manager ringing me. He was like, why have you done that? And I was like, it's the truth.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, but like,
what platform did you do that on then?
Twitch.
On that Twitch thing? Because
Yeah.
we were talking about that before, and I was like, I don't know what Twitch is, but basically,
Like gaming.
Yeah, you can do gaming online, can't you? And I said,
Well, you don't game, you watch someone else game.
it's like I said, it's like OnlyFans, but for gamers. And I said, the only Twitch things that I've seen is where I've seen like a girl in a bikini.
That's your
Like
algorithm.
a model, is it?
Yeah, that's you.
Because that's what I've been watching.
Yeah.
It's just a girl with headphones on, in a bikini playing a game, and I'm thinking, well, yeah, like no wonder young lads are watching this.
Good watch.
Oh yeah, she should beat Italy 3-0 with England on FIFA. Played a high press 4-4-2.
Yeah, she good.
Yeah, she good. Yeah,
Lovely
She
brand
like
of
the FIFA?
football.
don't know, but she had two great forms up top.
We're on Patreon,
Lovely
but we
brand
might
of
even have to
football.
cut that, you know.
I know, it's better than that. Played
Yeah,
one-
so
played
how
one
did
from
the stream
behind.
go? It's just like COVID, not playing, so let's stream.
Yeah, just
What was
give
it, Champ Manager?
Yeah, Football Manager. So give myself a routine. So like I used to play FIFA all
What,
the
you were
time.
doing shifts?
Honestly, I used to do it.
I used to get up, I'd warm up, then I'd play Champ Manager, have a cool down ice bath.
So I used to play FIFA all the time. Like, you know, as any like footballer used to do.
Yeah.
And it got to a point where I was like used to play weekend league and like got to the point where I was like nearly winning all the games on it. And then obviously like lockdown came and I was like, wow, let me just stream myself playing FIFA so I can like talk nonsense to people and like they can watch me. And it actually started because remember like some clubs used to do like a tournament
Yeah.
in like
You know, like we say
lockdown.
stream, like you'd set up a camera.
Yeah, so I'd set up my gaming PC or whatever,
Yeah.
set up a camera, stream myself, talk through the microphone, and then play at the same time. And then like you'd play games with fans and people would donate and stuff like that. And then I was just like, you know what, let me just like raise some money for charity. I'll do a 24-hour stream in the first lockdown. So I did that. I stayed
What,
up
24 hours non-stop?
24 hours online, non-stop, no sleep, just playing games. Raise money,
Fucking
Class
hell.
that.
raise money
That's
for
some
charity.
going, that.
Yeah. We play COD, Call of Duty now with, so I was playing with Falkirk and we was talking about, so he was like, my mate's joining. So Bob Dog joined.
Bob Dog.
Bob Dog was in the squad. And me and Philly were like, who you playing Saturday? He's like, I've got Warrington away. I'm like, oh, I've got fucking such and such a body. Bob Dog goes, I've got Blackburn. I was like, who the fuck is this guy? He's like, yeah, we got Blackburn away. I was like, who'd you play for? He was like, Coventry. He's a centre half at Coventry. Bobby
Thomas?
Thomas,
Bobby Thomas
yeah.
used to be at Burnley.
Yeah. Sound guy.
Good player, him.
Yeah. Good at COD
Good
as well.
at- good
Yeah, he's
at COD.
Good game. Yeah, he's got a great fucking
Sniper
good accuracy. He
Good.
has.
How's that?
Yeah, sound lad. It used to be me, Philliskirk, Bob Dog, and Louts.
You still play now?
Yeah, but Louts has gone Dubai, so his time zone's a bit different for us. So we have to get on in the day with Louts. It's sad,
don't
understand.
it's sad,
No,
but it's good, isn't it?
It's mad. You actually meet so many like new friends from like a friend's friend that just joins the party.
So many new
And
friends.
you're like, oh, he's all right, him, you know.
I don't get it.
Yeah.
I just
Get yourself
never,
on, lad.
I've never been a gamer. Never been a gamer. I used to play FIFA with the lads after training. But I had to stop because I kept smashing my controllers. You know when they beat me, or
yeah.
if you know when the sometimes the keeper or something, I just run off like that, and you're trying to, and he just
Yeah.
runs off and
He
just
doesn't just
tapping
do
it.
that.
You're like, why is this player doing that? We used to have an apartment. Ask John Dempster. I used to open it and just fucking whiz the controller out. Right, get out. I'm not playing. I used to, like, and they'd be like, Gaz, what? No, get out. And I used to just.
Fair enough. If you're not a gamer, you're not a gamer.
It's not a gamer, no.
I'm not a footballer, but here we are.
So you did your little thing on Twitch, and then Steve Evans, did he give you a call?
Yeah.
He was on stream, Steve. He was
Yeah,
watching,
He basically was,
donating.
T-Biscuit. Who's T-Biscuit? Hey, Rhys.
Steve Evans.
It's funny.
Evans,
He doesn't even call people. He just like messages like hi, how are you? And you're like, yeah, I'm good, Gaffer.
I bet he ends it with Steve.
Gaffer.
Does it? Yeah, something like that.
As soon as he, hiya pal, how you doing? You know,
what's about to
don't
happen.
you?
Then
Yeah.
you're gonna get an offer, which is a text message.
Yeah.
And obviously,
Did he do the same again?
Yeah, by this time I worked it out. So I was
Yeah.
like, yeah, that's not gonna work. And he's like, right, take it or leave it. Okay, that's fine. Right, I'm chilling.
I'll leave it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not making the same mistake again.
2 weeks later,
Yes.
just a little, hiya, how are you? Good, Gaffer. You all right? Get an offer.
Grand and a half.
A little bit higher this time. Doing that? I'm like, no. And I was like, I don't really, because by now he's at Gillingham, and by now I've, Peterborough.
Yeah.
I'm back in Manchester, Carlisle. I'm like, this is nice. Like, obviously it's lockdown. There's no fans in there, but I was basically living at home and driving to Carlisle back in the day. Which I don't really recommend, but
Yeah.
it's either that or staying in Carlisle by yourself in lockdown.
Yeah.
I'm going back home.
No one's on the roads either. Everyone's working from home. Fine.
Yeah.
Taxi man. Yeah.
110.
110.
And I was like, look, Gillingham is literally 5 hours away from Manchester. So I can try and find something closer to home. So I tried to get I think it was Crew that were interested at the time. And then I was trying to work out the maths. Like, well, if you get £500 more, but it's down south, but then you've also got to pay for an apartment.
Yeah.
And then you're also away from home. If you're at home, maybe you can, stay with your mum and dad and save up for a little bit and trying to work. And I was like, right, well, I might do Crew. And so he sent me the contract, and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna sign it. Then kind of snaked him a little bit to explore the Crew offer, and then the Crew offer didn't come. And then I was in a bit of a pickle. And my agent at the time was like, look, just go and train with Burton. They're obviously interested in you. But just go in and train for a few days. They're in Brighton for pre-season. Just go in and see how you do. So I got them on a Friday, trained with them on a Friday, and they had a game on a Saturday. And he was like, look, you might play 45 minutes.
Who was the person at the time?
Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank.
Dino Mal
and
Malmaria.
Dino.
Yeah.
So Dino wanted to sign me from Stevenage. He was the manager from Stevenage, so he was pushing to get me in. And I remember
that's a good combo to be involved with.
Yeah. I remember phoning my agent 3 days into that pre-season trip down at Brighton, I'm doing this. They're running me like a Marine. I've come in, I've played 60 minutes of a game, I've done 2 football sessions, it's day 3 on a Monday, and I'm training again. I've not been doing anything football wise. I've been in the gym, but this is my first experience of football, and these guys are literally like Marines. I've got an offer on the table. What am I doing here? I know it's closer to home, but what am I doing? I'm not protected if I get injured. What am I doing here? And then so I was literally, I ended up getting injured. So I had a quad strain, and I was driving to Burton and back at 6:30 in the morning to see the physio. And I remember thinking, this isn't.
That's when he goes, "Hey, Gaffer."
You read the script. So I'm sat in the Burton changing room.
Booty calling Steve Evans.
Yeah.
I'm sat in the Burton changing room. I'm sat in the Burton changing room, and I'm like, this isn't it. I was like, look, Gaffer, if that deal's still on the table, I want to sign it. And he's like, been through this before. I've given you a contract. I was like, look, I'm serious. If you send me that deal, I will sign it right now. So I literally signed the deal in the
I can
Burton.
send it through, but it's £100 less.
You signed the deal in Burton's changing rooms?
I signed the deal in Burton's changing rooms.
Did
And he
ya?
was like, look, I'm not giving you, the original deal had reload. You can't get reload. I'll give you an extra 200 quid a week. Not a problem.
Was it?
Sign that. I'll drive from Burton.
Just let you know, Gaffer, pull me 5.
Yeah.
No, I didn't say that.
I know you did. Not until you signed it.
Jokes on you, big fella.
So I literally signed it, drove from the Burton changing room. Obviously, I had to let Dino, I was like, look, Dino, I'm signing for someone else. I'm obviously, I've been here 3 weeks. I've been injured 2 weeks. I'm going to, obviously, I've got an offer on the table. I'd like to thank you, but.
I bet you took it well, didn't he?
He was just like, yeah, I
was it?
appreciate it. Yeah, you might have felt differently, but you know what they're like.
Yeah.
And then literally drove from Burton to Manchester to Gillingham.
It's a long day, that, isn't it?
A long day. So I got there at 3 a.m. in the morning.
At least you're done, though.
Yeah.
At least you're sorted.
At least I was like, thank God I did that.
Yeah.
Because even though it's 6 hours away, probably.
Gillingham's League One, though, again.
Yeah.
You've gone back up to League One, which is good.
Yeah. Obviously League One, gaffer that knows me. I know the gaffer. I just basically need to head the back of someone's head to play.
Well, I suppose with Steve, at least you know what he expects of you.
Yeah. That's
Like you said, I just need to go and head the back of someone's head, be aggressive, and,
He's happy.
and I'll play.
keep it simple.
Yeah.
Was my mate there? One I always mention, Jack Tucker.
Tux, yeah. So Tux was coming through.
Have you ever mentioned him?
Yeah.
Have you? Where do you know him from? Not Bolton.
Met him in Thailand.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Used to be a lady boy.
Good looking lad who's Tucker, to be fair.
Especially with makeup and a skirt.
Yeah, he's a good player, man. Like me and him played, and then he kind of like shoehorned 3 centre halves. So Tux used to play like defensive midfielder as well, because he just tried to play us all. And then we used to play at 3 at the back. But it's funny because like if you're doing well for Steve, like you play, and it doesn't matter. Like he'll just try and fit you in, and if you're doing well enough, so he'll just mold the team around the players that are doing all right.
How did that season go? You're only there for a year.
So it's funny because I thought I stitched him up. I was carrying a little bit of an injury, but then he said, yeah, like I'm really not happy with this chairman. Like I'm just gonna sell my best players, get my percentage of the sell-on fee, and then that's me. And I was like, hold on a minute, I've just signed. Hello, and he was like, yeah, like chairman's not putting any money in. Like,
He's what is it? He's gonna sell his best players.
Yeah, and get his sell-on
get
fee,
his bonus,
and then he's going. And I was like, hold on a minute, you've just signed me.
Cheers, Gaffer.
Yeah, he's mad him.
So that was
How long was he
literally
there for then?
the standoff lasted like until Christmas.
And then he was off.
And then he was gone. And then I was there for 6 months because the gaffer that signed me left. And then the other gaffer that kind of took over liked... one centre-back here is Max Amer, who's a club legend. He's been there for 8 years. The other centre-back's a young up-and-coming centre-back in Jack Tucker, who's good. And then there's me.
Yeah.
So under Steve Evans, like I said, he tried to shoehorn all 3 of us into the team. Under him, he was Gillingham manager before. Loved Max. Tux is the local guy. I was just like,
You was the outsider of the...
I'm not going to play here.
Yeah, there's 2 going to play out the 3.
And we're not doing so well in the league because the gaffers basically tossed it off. So we're going to get relegated and I'm not going to play. When I've played the whole first half of the season, like I was like, look, spoke to my agent, I was like, what can you do? And he was like, look, I've got Morecambe that will sign you. So do you want to go there? Obviously they're in similar positions, but like you're going to play.
You know the drive as well quite well, don't you?
Yeah. And I was like, easy. I was like, easy. It's half the distance to Carlisle. I can go back to Manchester and I'm going to play. So I'm going to be 5 hours away from home, getting relegated and not going to play, rather than I'm going to have a chance of survival playing and being closer to home.
He's on it at Gillingham till January then.
Yeah. So I said to them, look, can I go? And they were like, yeah, fine.
So then did you do Morecambe till the end of the season?
Yeah. So I signed a 6-month deal at Morecambe. And it's funny because the previous season, Derek Adams had tried to sign me for Bradford.
Yeah.
And the manager that signed me, Stephen Robinson from Morecambe, 3 weeks after I signed, left to go to St Mirren. And then Derek Adams came in.
So he was happy then.
So he was happy. And I was like, oh, well, you tried to sign me the summer before. So like, I'm happy, like, and I'm playing. But one thing Derek isn't, best pleased with his budgets, and they gave Stephen Robinson a big budget, and I'd obviously managed to get a decent amount out of Steve Evans this time, so I was on a similar amount at Morecambe, and Derek was like at the end of that season, you've done well for me, but
I've got no money.
Yeah, you're just on too big a wage.
So from there then, did you get relegated?
No, we stayed up.
Stayed up.
Yeah.
And then you've got a bit of a gap then, it says, from then till the following January. So is that 6 months out of football?
Yeah, so I had 6 months out. So I finished there and I was like, I really want to try and stay in League One if I can. The Rochdale contract was basically on the table from the start of the summer. But I was like, look, I just want to wait.
Rochdale League 2 then?
Yeah, I was like, I just want to wait and see what happens in League One. And then I waited a couple of sniffs and that. I was obviously training with Accrington until January. And then I just got a bit impatient. I was like, look, I've trained with these guys for 2 months. It's been great fitness and that, but like, like I've just been here training. Like
Yeah.
you've not like said like, oh, do you want to play a game or do you want to sign or anything like that? But
They didn't even ask you.
nah, it was just like we'll see you tomorrow kind of thing. I was just like, I'm just making up numbers here. Like, so I thought, right,
And not being paid.
not being paid.
Yeah.
So I was like, look, I just want to play. So I was like, right, that Rochdale contract that was half of what I would have got in summer. I just need to take it to play. Like, it's a club that I love. Like, I'll just go and play, and then we'll see what happens next year.
Yeah.
But that just didn't go the way I wanted
Yeah,
it
just
to.
want to go and play games.
Yeah.
One.
Yeah, one game.
So, like, I think I started, like, a couple games, but in actuality, was to play, like, a handful of games and then
Right.
completely tore my quad.
Yeah, you were saying you tore your quad, didn't you? Totally.
Yeah. So, like, I've never had a quad tear before. And, like, because I'd trained with Accrington, I'd been fine. But then I played in a reserve game, and then I had a couple of weeks where I felt ill, so I didn't go into training with them. And then I signed for Rochdale. So I have been training, but I've also been off.
Yeah.
So then I've gone back into training, and then we've gone Thursday, Friday, start on a Saturday. And my body's gone, what the hell is going on here? So then we've got another game on a Tuesday.
Yeah.
And then I played Saturday again. And then my body's literally like...
You tear it in the game?
Didn't tear it in the game. And we started, like, the weather started getting bad, started training on Astro, and we started feeling like I'm literally, like, I can't move.
Struggling.
Yeah, I'm struggling here. And they were like, right, well, we're not going to, like, you're not going to train on Astro. If you train on Astro, you can go in the gym and do stuff like that. But then you're thinking, that going in the gym doing stuff like that, when it comes to the team selection on Saturday, it's the guys that, you know,
Are out on the grass,
I've
really.
trained
Yeah,
all
yeah.
week that
Yeah.
you get selected. And I was like, look, I tried to come here to play. I know my body's not in great shape because I've literally just come from nothing to like 5 games within a month.
Yeah.
And I was like, right, we're training on the grass on a Tuesday. Like, you're training. Cool. Looking forward to it. Manchester, 9:30, it just absolutely downpours. And they were like, we're going to train on grass, but now we're training on Astro. You don't have to train now. And I was like, nah, it's Tuesday. I'm not doing this all week. Like, I want to play. I'm like, look, can I train? Yeah, like, of course you can. Well, we're just going to do some sprints before training. So I'm sprinting in the race, and I'm like, right, I'm not happy with where I'm coming in this race. I'm putting it in now.
Yeah.
And I just think, I was like, what happened to me? Why am I on the floor? All the lads have like started like laughing, thinking like I've tripped or something. And I thought I tripped. But then the pain came, and I was like, whoa. And yeah, walked inside. I was like, I'm struggling there. Had a scan, and scan was like, yep, complete rupture of your quad.
Oh.
So I
Is that
apparently...
the one where it all goes black after
yeah.
about 3 weeks? It's just blue, purple, yellow.
Can be anything,
Yeah,
can't
my
it?
mate
But
did
it's a
it.
big muscle to tear, though, isn't it?
Yeah, rectum.
Yeah. Yeah. Rectoris from them.
So that was you done.
That was March, and that was like a 6-monther. So...
But on the flip side, Ratcliffe Borough.
No, but then, like, didn't you come back and tear your other
Yeah,
thigh?
so that took me...
Totally ruptured your other side, and then that's where we are now, innit?
Yeah, so that would obviously taken me from March 2023 till September 23, and I was like, right, well, I kind of missed the boat in terms of the start of the season. Let me get in the gym. Let me get ready for January. Let me make sure that my body's right.
Did you not end up making the gym?
I know, I actually made the gym.
Not the uppers.
just legs, just quads.
just quads, and just leave my arms stringy as hell. And it was like, got to like mid-January, and like I had like a week off the gym for Christmas. So I started back in January, and I'm doing like CrossFit, so it's like high intensity, like good stuff, but like you probably need to keep in the rhythm of it.
Yeah.
And I was like, doing squats, only like 70-80 kilograms. And I was like, I felt something there. No, but I say that, but like you get stronger really quick. Like you start off at like body weight, and then like through like the 3 or 4 months, I'm like doing like 120s now. And I'm feeling like, I'm a machine. Probably can't kick a football, but like I'm all right in the gym. But that's all I want to be for my quads.
Yeah.
So then I went to do that, and I was like, I feel something here, but like I'm fine. So I'm doing like little ladder drills and stuff like that. And then when I went to walk down the stairs, I couldn't walk. And I was like, that's really weird. So then that was January. Obviously, the next weekend, I get a phone call from Mr. Beach from Filed. It was like, oh, like, how are you doing? And I was like, listen, before you even say anything, I just need to let you know that I'm not going to be fit because, like, I've got this quad injury. I don't actually know what's happening with it. So then I ended up getting some help from the PFA, and they got me a scan and stuff, and went to see physio, and he was like, it's fine. Like, I don't actually know what you've done. There's obviously something there from a previous injury, but like symptoms wise, like on the scans and stuff, it looks all right. And I was thinking, well, it don't feel all right.
Can't walk downstairs.
It don't feel all right. I'm like, it's
Yeah.
April, May, and like I'm going on holiday, and I'm thinking, I can't even walk some days. Like, what's going on with this? And then literally 2 weeks later, it started to feel all right. And I was like, well, I've had the scan 4 weeks ago. It's telling me I'm all clear. I'm still feeling it. But so it's been one of those tricky injuries where like I actually can't quite put my finger on it.
So how is it now?
Some days I'm like, yeah, this is good. I'm gonna start strengthening it. I want to play again. And then I could literally lift my leg over the couch to like thingy and then be like, why do I feel that? Why am I getting cramp in my quad for lifting my leg over?
Sore again.
Yeah.
There's obviously some damage there, and then isn't there?
Yeah.
So what's the plan then now for the future? I know, like you said, you set up a business, but like playing wise, what's would you go to part time? Drop down to part time? Are you ready to go part time and play?
I think obviously I want to play. That's something that I miss. I don't know in what capacity it is until I obviously try it out. I could say like, I want to play part time, but part time might be too much for my body, or I don't know, full time might not be too much for my body.
Yeah.
I just know that I want to play football, and at the moment I need to get strong enough to do that, and also probably build up my business to a place where I can.
Well, this might be an opportunity for Radcliffe Borough
Told
then.
you, the borough. We need you. You need us.
It's a perfect match.
What more do you want?
It's like a live session of Tinder.
Yeah. Gaffers are sound, lads are sound. Round the corner from your house.
Why don't you just see if you can go down training? Test it out, test the thigh out.
That might be the plan.
I'm going to ring Jono straight after this.
But mate,
In fact, I
really,
might ring Burn.
yeah. But mate, really good. Enjoyed that. Really
Yeah,
good. Really
the
good.
trials
podcast
and tribulations of
of a footballer.
signing contracts, out dealing with managers, dealing with agents.
And
It's
as
all in
well,
there.
it also shows as well not to burn your bridges, because like you say, that's first Steve Evans management moment. You leave and you hate him, but you don't really fall out. You don't really slag him off. You don't really say like in football you can't burn your bridges. All of a sudden, whatever, 6 years on, he signed you 2 more times. You never know, do you?
100%.
You
Yeah,
never
no,
know.
it's very interesting.
Really good.
Is there anything you would do differently? You said be more ruthless, maybe, or
Probably believe in myself more. It's when that period of Gaffers wanting me to go to Port Vale to suit the club. If I would have waited, Coventry got promoted from League Two that season, and you see what they've done now.
Yeah.
They wanted to sign me. They
And Luton.
could have gone to Luton as
Yeah.
well.
could have been at back with Bob Dog?
Exactly. But yeah, obviously at that moment where you're like, oh, I've got this deal in front of me, I've got 24 hours to sign. It's a higher league. But
Yeah.
then you should have gone, no, actually, you've done really well this season. Like, just
Step
relax.
back, wait.
Be good for
step
some
back.
like young pros to listen to that, won't it?
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. And just like, I really like the first bit where you're going out on loan and you got to knuckle down and test yourself, and that sets you up for the future. Like I say,
100%.
like the younger you can go out and experience men's football, for me, the better.
I mean, I waited till 19, 20, which I think is too long. But when
Yeah.
you look at the lads that are going out now, they're all going out at 17 and 18.
Yeah.
And then they're making a mistake. So then when you get to 21, 22, you've had 4 years of making mistakes.
Yeah, you've had your grounding.
Yeah,
haven't you?
so then you're like a young kid at 22 that's now experienced because
Yeah.
you've played.
Well, they're looking for, like in the academy and like professional game now, they're looking for, by the time you're 21, you should be playing you should have had 80 games. Do you know what I mean? At like a good level, 80, 100 games.
Definitely helps.
Definitely. But mate, no, really good, really interesting. Rhys Bennett.
Thank you very much, sir.
Appreciate it.
Top man.
The same old time, the same old screw, the same old psychic tissue, the same old